Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thanks so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, why haven't you? Hey, be sure and ring that bell and it'll notify you every time I upload new movie reviews. Today, the movie I'm reviewing is called The White Tiger. It is available now on Netflix. It's rated R, it's 2 hours and 5 minutes, and the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is a B plus. However, there are some buts. So let me explain why. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, and even some movie recommendations for other films that I think you might really like if you like this one. So I have mixed feelings about this movie. So let's get started. In a nutshell, directed and written by Ramin Bahrani, this very dark comedy is based on the book The White Tiger by Aravind Adiga and offers a socio-political commentary on the country of India. The outstanding cast and intriguing themes will keep you thinking about this rags to riches film for quite some time. I keep thinking about it and thinking about whether or not I recommend it, but I'll get into that here in just a second. Let me tell you about some things that I really did like about the movie. First, the opening was really great. It feels like the protagonist is talking to the audience and breaking the fourth wall. However, he's actually writing a letter to the president of China. However, at the very end of the movie, he does break the fourth wall. Okay, and in case you're wondering, what is she talking about? What's the fourth wall? It's when a character in a movie speaks directly to the audience. And I actually really like that style of storytelling. Two of my favorite movies that do this extremely well happen to feature Matthew Broderick in both movies. One is called Lady Hawk, and the other is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So let me tell you about this protagonist. Adarsh Gurav gives a truly fantastic breakout performance in this role. We are sure to see a lot more of him in the future. At least I hope so. I just thought he was really great. He plays a young man named Balran who is born in poverty in India, and he's able to change his stars and lift himself out of poverty into a life of wealth and prestige and power. So the title of the movie, The White Tiger, is based on the idea that the tiger is something that's born only once in a generation, and the protagonist is the same. India currently has a population over 1.3 billion people. So this character is like that white tiger born once in a generation and really defies statistics. Another star in the movie is Priyanka Chopra. She actually does a really great job. And did you know that she was the winner of Miss India and Miss World beauty pageants in the year 2000? She's a very good actress, and she really is the one who will offer a familiar face in the cast, at least to most Americans. She's popular for a lot of things, but also because she's married to the famous musician and singer Nick Jonas. Among many of her own achievements, she made the May 2016 cover of Time magazine for being one of the top 100 most influential people. Now, another actor who is very popular in Bollywood is going to be new to American audiences, but not for long. Rajkumar Rao, who's also known as Raj Kumar. He's handsome and young and also does a very good job in his role in the film. Another character in the movie is the country of India itself. Every frame is an amazing picture. And for someone like me, and probably for you who has never been to India, it's just fascinating to learn about the culture, the people, the food, the politics, the economics, the caste system, and all of that. The cinematographer is Paulo Carnera, and he just does an excellent job helping you to explore this fascinating country. You also get to learn a little bit about socialism and India's connection to communist China. So, as I mentioned, this main character is writing a letter to the president of China, trying to share with him his story and create a connection economically. I thought it was also really fascinating to contrast two Indians with different viewpoints. So Adarsh Gaurav's character Balram was born and raised in India in extreme poverty, yet he completely embraces the mentality of the country and accepts his station in life for a time. Then Priyanka Chopra's character, Pinky Madam, was born in India yet educated in America, which causes her to question the outdated traditions in her motherland. They have some interesting conversations, and their conversations introduce the protagonist to some new ideas that he has to weigh out in his mind whether or not he agrees with them. All of these characters and many more colorful ones are extremely flawed despite their efforts to live according to their moral values. You get instantly pulled into their lives and feel immediately invested in them. I really loved that aspect of the film. There's a fun musical soundtrack, and the movie does a really great job with a risky technique. You're told the end of the story at the beginning of the movie, which might make you think, well, okay, I already know what's going to happen. But in this case, it's done really well, and you keep watching and wondering, how is that character going to get from point A to point B? So it's not a spoiler. It really pulls you along and you want to find out. There were also some things I didn't like about the movie. First of all, the extreme poverty is just heartbreaking to watch. Early in the movie, we learn that Balram, the servant, will be paid 1,500 rupees for a month as a personal driver to an extremely wealthy man. That sounds like a lot, right? 1,500 rupees. But just to put that in perspective, in US dollars, the equivalent is about $20.55 for a month of work. That's crazy. Then the servant is told that he will get a raise to 2,000 rupees after he works for this employer for 2 months. So that's still only $27.40 a month. It's just unimaginable. The movie feels long, yet kind of ends abruptly, which I thought was odd. Another thing that's always seemed odd to me is just blatant product placement in movies. And so in this movie, the Sheraton Hotel gets a big shout out. There's some humor in Act One, and I thought, okay, this is the ride we're going on. And then in Acts 2 and 3, the movie becomes very dark with basically no humor at all. And then finally, I love a good rags to riches story, but I finished this movie with a very uneasy feeling because the message ultimately is that the end justifies the means. Let me tell you about a few of the other themes. One is that education opens doors, freedom, masters versus servants, tradition, bribery, murder, dishonesty, religion, good versus evil, rich versus poor, karma, social injustice, morality, a look at socialism and communism, and obligation to family. Now, let me also give you some tips for parents. There are, first of all, are a lot of F-bombs spoken and written. There's name calling, bullying, lots of subtitles to read. You will learn a lot about Indians and how they feel about Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam. People get beaten and shot to death. And you even see two guys pooping in the dirt due to a lack of sanitation and toilets in the area. Overall, I thought the movie was really good, but I just left with this feeling of frustration. Like, really, that's the message that they want us to have? But despite that, I thought the acting was great, the cinematography was great, and all of those other things that I mentioned, I thought were really great. So every time I watch movies, I write down funny lines and interesting lines, and I share them on my written movie reviews at moviereviewmom.com. So if you want to see all of them, you can go check those out over there. But I'll share a couple of them with you right now. First of all, Balram, who's played by Adarsh Gurav, says, a successful entrepreneur always finds his competition's secrets. Another really interesting line he says is, we loathe our masters behind a facade of love, but do we love them behind a facade of loathing? Kind of interesting. And then he says, what is a servant without a master, as he's trying to figure out who he is and what he wants? And then another really interesting idea that's put out there is, as this Indian man is writing to the president of China, he's trying to explain why they should be business partners. And he says, it's the century of the brown man and the yellow man, and God save everybody else. As he talks about how the white man's day is over, and this is the dawn of a new age between China and India. And I know a lot of people wonder if those two countries did get together, how much power they would have in the world, simply because of their billions of citizens in the world. All right, now let me give you some recommendations before I go. The very first movie that came to my mind was actually an Academy Award winner for Best Picture, called Slumdog Millionaire. And again, I think if you like this movie, you're going to love that movie. I thought Slumdog Millionaire was just excellent. And then last year's Picture of the Year was a Korean movie that looked at social injustices in Korea, called Parasite. Also won Best Picture of the Year. So check those two out. All right, that's it. Thank you again so much for subscribing, and just liking and commenting on my movie review helps me a lot to grow my channel on YouTube. And thank you also for going over to Patreon and supporting me over there. All right, I hope that if you watch this movie that you enjoy it, and I will catch you in the next movie review. Bye for now.